not high quality. It feels light. The shell doesn't quite feel right. That doesn't look right.
Can we open it
The
up?
back sticker doesn't have the engraving on it. That's awfully suspicious that there's a burn right there.
So Retro Wolf, you're here in my beautiful home, and I'm about to show you some of my NES games. Now, keep in mind that as of 2 weeks ago, I had 0 NES games. Like 0.
0. Okay.
I went on a purge, and I got rid of all my NES games, and I bought all of those t-shirts, a bunch of t-shirts that you saw in my collection, vintage shirts. But I've been editing for Riff from Pixel Game Squad, and I got the itch as we're doing the NES Pursuit series to buy NES games again.
Okay, and you said how long ago?
2 weeks ago.
So you
went
started
from 0 to this.
So you got rid of your NES collection.
Correct.
And then you started from scratch 2 weeks ago, and started recollecting for the NES.
Correct.
What is wrong with you?
I'm sick.
Okay, so where are these NES games at?
I'm about to show you.
Okay.
You got any guess a price that I paid? How much did I spend?
Well, I don't know how many games. How many games are we talking?
How much did you spend, Jared?
Thousands.
What? In the last 2 weeks, you've spent thousands on NES games?
Yes. Here are the games. Here are all the NES games that I've accumulated in the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks, people. Check this out. So let's see how
You're
many.
a madman.
Madman. So
you bought all these in the last 2 weeks.
yeah. So it looks like based off price charting and based off my app, I have purchased 122 games at a value of. Are you guys ready for this?
Yeah.
$3,471.
Is that how much you spent, or that's
No,
the rough
that's
value?
the rough
Okay.
value.
Okay.
I would say I probably spent closer to a third of that
Yeah.
because I did some trades.
Okay.
I sold some stuff to kind of recoup my collection. But a majority of these titles is what I owned before I purged for a bunch of vintage shirts.
Now you didn't explain why did you start doing this?
Yeah,
What's
so
the story there?
so I bought an EverDrive. I bought an EverDrive. It's made by a company called Chris. And essentially, explain what an EverDrive is, because I actually don't even know. I just know I loaded it up with all the NES ROMs and it works.
It's like I believe it's like a flash card with software loaded on it, and it can pull the ROM. It can pull the ROM off the cartridge and use the original hardware to play the ROM, so it's not technically emulation.
Got it. So it was great. I loved using it, but as I was editing videos for Pixel Game Squad and NES Pursuit, I just got in my heart that love for NES again, and these awesome cartridges and all the cool franchises. Now,
A lot of good games here, too, by the way.
I do have some more heavy grails. They're not just common games here. So part of this kind of purge is I accumulated some more higher end
Now, these
games.
you already had, though, right?
No.
You didn't sell.
Oh,
Wait,
no.
what? Really?
No, I bought grails too.
Wait, but Zen Intergalactic Ninja, you didn't get rid of
I
that.
sold it.
You sold it and then you bought it again?
Correct.
Dude, you literally...
So,
This man's crazy.
it's coming from the guy that sold his GameCube collection to Retro Rick. And is
got me there.
recollecting. I think this is the irony of this video, guys, is that the man that's calling me crazy for selling my NES games and rebuying them is making a whole entire channel series on rebuying the GameCube.
The difference is, though, I sold my collection to do something productive in my life.
Yeah, I just bought vintage t-shirts with mine. Cool ones. So, just kind of highlight some of, like, the really kind of awesome ones. These are kind of the more high-end priced ones, but I don't know if you've ever played Batman Return of the Joker. It's based off the original, I believe, the cartoon movie that they did, the animated movie. So this is a really cool one. They ported it to the Genesis as well. Another expensive one, Mega Man 5. So I think the reason why this one's so valuable is because in this game they had some type of contest where kids could design a character, and then the winner, whoever's artwork won, got a character in this. Yes.
Hold on. Somebody carved their initials and phone number into this cartridge. I'm gonna call this phone number.
The number you have dialed is not in service.
Oh, let's keep going. So this one's a good game too. It's Dusty's
That's
All-Star
expensive?
Softball. Yeah, it's like $100 game.
Okay.
And it's you wouldn't think a sports game was so expensive, but it's kind of one of those like quirky style games. I can't remember what the type of like illustration is called, but similar to like what like the Super Dodgeball. It looks like Super Dodgeball kind of, but for All-Star Softball. So there's some footage going. Okay, so another kind of more like higher priced game, and this game's awesome. It's by Bandai. It's Toxic Crusader, another Genesis port as well, but it's got a side-scrolling beat-em-up element.
Really?
You're the Toxic of Crusader. It's based off the actual cartoon by Trauma. So this is really cool. I love the cover too, man. It's just so colorful and weird.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. Bring the camera in, son. Jared and the Toxic Crusader kind of have like a similar look going here, dude. Like I can see some similarities between the two. Right?
Are you making fun of me because I was premature? When I was born, I was premature. Not what the other. Okay, that got awkward.
Okay, continue.
Okay, anyway, this is my favorite NES game of all time. It's a grail. So yes, I sold this and I had to rebuy it because I'm sick. So this was part of the 2-week buying spree. Mighty Final Fight.
Good one.
It's by Capcom. The music is amazing. It's based off Final Fight, but you're kind of these like more like, I don't know, they're like, how would you describe the characters in comparison? You're like these like cute cartoony type of characters opposed to like more like
I
adult
guess
realistic.
like chibi would be the
Chibi,
modern,
I never
yeah.
can, that's the alt word I always.
What a weird word that is.
Chibi. Who invented the chibi? Music is amazing. The gameplay is awesome, and it's just a really fun game. Highly recommend. I'm gonna leave that one to last. So this next one is Shatterhand. Shatterhand's probably like a $70, $80 game.
The second one is the expensive one.
There is a second
I'm pretty
one.
sure, yeah.
I think you're thinking Power Blade, because it's kind of got a similar.
Yeah.
Power Blade's cover reminds me of a
Yeah,
Shatterhand.
Power Blade.
Shatterhand, one of the higher priced, and finally in the mix, one of my favorite games, his favorite NES game, possibly.
No. It's not my favorite NES game. I just said I have fond memories of it. This man's putting words in my mouth over
Why
here.
don't you hold it and show the people? What's your fond memory of this game?
Okay, so Zen Intergalactic Ninja. First of all, it's expensive. It's rare. It's awesome. Okay, so when I was a kid, my brothers had this with their NES, and I have very fond memories of not only watching them play this game. I actually watched my oldest brother play through and beat the entire game. But I also have fond memories playing it. Awesome game, super hard, great music. Every level plays different. It's just super cool. Also, look at that front cover.
Front cover's awesome. Well, it's based off a comic book series.
You actually have a toy in this.
Yeah, so it's based off the Zen Intergalactic Ninja comic book series, and it's just such a weird concept for, dude. The 80s and 90s just nailed it with franchises,
Yeah, they did.
like an Intergalactic Ninja, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, a Street Shark, with the cows of Mumesa. Like it's just weird franchises.
And then now people ruin the franchises today.
Yes.
Did you put Zen up?
Wait,
Zen
so
Inter-
Toxic, Mighty, Shatter. Where's Zen? Where's Zen? Ah,
Cargo pants.
cargo pants.
I was trying to get that 5-finger discount.
Dude, that's the perfect apparel for a thief. Cargo pants with big NES pockets.
Just call me Retro Thief 88.
This game's really awesome. I don't know if you played Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. It's based off the movie and the cartoon. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes is a 2D platform game developed by Imagineering and released in 1991 for the NES. The game is based on the children's cartoon Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. So this is Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Retroof is trying to say he thinks it's a repo.
Like, look at the difference in the Nintendo seal of quality. Like, you see how crisp that one is and how that one is kind of like not as crisp. I think it's a repro.
Let's open it up.
I mean, I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong, but I mean, it just, something about it just doesn't feel right.
This is the moment of truth. So, just for the audience, Retro Wolf thinks that I have a reproduction copy of Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
And
for
just to be
NES.
clear, I legit hope that I'm wrong. I really do. Like, I will not be upset if I'm wrong at all. I do not want it to be a repro, but there's just some things that kind of, like the fact that there's a burn right there where the engraving would be, that seems awfully...
For the audience, how much is this game valued at?
like $40. So it's
Okay.
not, it doesn't seem like it's a game that would have a lot of reproduction copies, but I mean, you never know. All right, it's looking good so far. It's good.
It's good, baby.
It is not a repro.
It is not a repro.
Excellent. You have to admit, though, that is awfully, like,
Suspicious.
right?
So for the crowd, how do you make that determination right now? What do you look at the board?
Well, usually you can find images of what the official PCB is going to look like, right? So you just find an official image and you do the comparison and that. But you know, a lot of times, even if you don't have the official images, a lot of times you can just tell just by looking at the board. So, all right, one thing I want to ask you, I don't think you touched on, like, where did you acquire all this?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I'm proud to say that 90% of this acquisition was all within local Columbus meetups,
Okay.
video game stores, friends, flea markets, thrift stores. So really kind of supporting small community business. So I tried to stay away from eBay as much as possible, minus like Mighty Final Fight. You know, I couldn't get my hands on that without eBay. So yeah, everything was pretty local. So my compulsive behavior of just like, I need to get NES, I was going hunting every single day. And of course I didn't film anything, which is why we're here today.
Dude, I mean, this is a solid stack of games. I mean, there's a lot of great staples here, but there's also some, like, hidden gems, like Vice Project Doom. Freaking awesome game. If you guys have a Switch and you have the Switch online service, you can play this on the NES app. This game is awesome.
So one of my favorites is right here, and this is, other than Mighty Final Fight, this is my second favorite game. It's River City Ransom. So this was on the top of my list. I had to score back. So one of my first day where I was like, I'm gonna go buy NES. I went to multiple stores till I found a store with this one and got a really good deal on this. Okay, Matt. So you've seen all of these NES games that I've acquired. So one game I didn't get rid of that was really special to my heart and my brother's heart was this copy of Yeah Yeah Beavis 2. It was a game created by John Riggs, and he actually did a special cartridge version of the game for Retro Gaming Pandemic that he gifted us at Southeast Game Exchange. And as you can see, we're on the cover here, and we're playable characters, both Eric and I.
Nice.
So, we've never actually played this yet, and I think this is such a perfect time to see. So I know you've always wanted to be Eric. It's always been a dream of yours to be Eric, and I think finally you can play as Eric.
What is wrong?
It actually says play as Jared, play as Eric, and then two-player game, so I assume you can be both. So hit two-player.
Love the music.
Music's awesome.
Zap 10 evil in 45 seconds.
Oh, look at us. Oh, and we're red and green. So I'm assuming I'm actually Luigi right now, being Eric.
You must
because
be
I'm
Eric.
green.
What are you doing? Why are you just jumping around, dude?
I
Stuff.
suck at
What's wrong
video
with
games.
you,
Dude,
dude?
he's got the hat back too.
Yeah, you got the hat back. So I'm actually playing as Eric right now. I'm green, and then you're playing as me. So that must feel great.
Jared, do you know what you're doing, Jared?
I really don't know what's going on.
We win.
So this is crazy. So the weapons, it looks like my character that Matt's playing as has a yo-yo, and then Eric's character has lightning. So that's, you get lightning and I get a yo-yo, but whatever.
Jared, have you killed a single enemy?
So what would you describe this game, Matt? What is this
It's
game
like a single screen stage based game where you're just trying to kill all the enemies in
Okay.
each level.
So the music's amazing. The music's awesome.
Yeah. Jared, what are you doing, dude? You're not even killing enemies.
Do you know how to play a video game, Jared? Like. All right, so Jared, first off, I want to make sure you're not going to sell this again in a couple of weeks.
I'm really not.
Okay.
I'm not.
So what's
yeah.
next? What's next? Are you going to continue to go for more NES games? What's the next? What's the goal
Yeah,
here?
so there's still a few more like grails that I used to own that I just haven't been able to get yet. The number one grail that I'm looking for right now is Swamp Thing. So that is on kind of my number one hit list. So yeah, just kind of keep crossing off. I have about 30 more games on the list that I'd like to get back, but Swamp Thing will be the big heavy hitter for me coming up. So maybe at some of the conventions that we have coming up, that might be a good target for me. I have an idea. Let's go buy NES games. Come on. Let's go buy NES games. We're going. I'm going to take you to some of my favorite stores. This idiot.